Jeep windshields get pitted and broken all the time, so I didn't want to spend $300 to have one installed. So today I'm installing one myself. Some of the supplies I had to get were a windshield, suction cups, which are from Harbor Freight, a windshield removal kit, and finally from Amazon, primerless urethane. So let's get it pulled into the shop and get right into it. It's hard to tell from the outside, but from the inside you can see it has a crack going all the way across. And also, since I've gotten it, it's been super pitted. That makes it hard to drive at night. So it's needed to be done. Now that the ducts are out of the way, the first step is to take off the rear view mirror. And that is just a T20 Torx bit right there. After the screw is out, it just slides right off. The next step is to take the window removal kit. And as per the instructions, you're gonna cut off 2 to 3 feet of this wire. That's about right. Next, it says to go ahead and feed it through the windshield before you add your handles. You're going to use the tool that comes with it. Now it says to wrap it over the spike on the end of the tool and to feed it on the outside. However, Jeep windshields have this lip around them, so you can't get under there to push it through. So we're going to have to do it from the inside. Honestly, they could have made this tool shorter. Seriously considering going back to the sledgehammer idea. Poke a hole through it without the wire in there. Okay. Now remember where your hole is. Hook your wire on. And then you can slide it along there and feel for your hole. Cheap isn't easy. It feels like it's all the way through. Might have to turn it to the side so you can get access to your wire, and then just take some sort of pick and grab it. Okay, if you wiggle it a little bit and just mess with it, it starts to work its way down, and we have a wire. Grab a pair of pliers and ask your helper to hold the wire while you pull out the pin. Alright. Now, pull it through, not all the way because that would be depressing. Now, in order to thread this onto the handle, feed it through the bottom side. And it will come out right there and hook it through that hole, and you want it to just come out the other side. And then pull it down that much. Now do the same to the other side and you'll have both of your handles done. Now you and your helper are going to seesaw this back and forth all the way around the windshield in order to take it out. Things to keep in mind: make sure you don't get it up against the paint here because it will scratch it, so keep the angle up. And on the inside, make sure it doesn't rub against the plastic or else it will cut through the plastic. Be careful not to kink the wire because it will break. Alright, at this point, be careful because the wire will probably be hot if you've been going fast enough. And also put a hand on the windshield to catch it in case it doesn't fall. Now you need to get all of the old urethane off, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Just take a scraper, scrape it off, be careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna show you all that because it's pretty time consuming, but if we have any pointers along the way, I will let you know.
Okay, get ready for a pointer.
Apparently we have a pointer.
It's really hard to scrape it, but since you can get to the back side of it, if you just get it cut, you can cut through it. And we're using plastic so we don't scratch the paint, but you could use a metal scraper if you wanted this to go faster and you didn't care about scratching the paint. Then once you get it going, you can just keep it cut. And then you'll just have to go back and clean up that little bit that's on there still.
We're gonna get to it. So the urethane we bought apparently requires a professional grade caulking gun, but the way to get around that is to warm it up. So while that's warming up, we finished getting the seal out, and you want to leave a little bit of film there so that way your new adhesive has something to stick to, but you don't want to have all that debris in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum that out. Now we need to start prepping our new windshield. We need to get all the stickers off and all those greasy fingerprints off. And we're gonna use an alcohol-based window cleaner that has no ammonia and no petroleum. Go ahead and clean where you're gonna put your suction cups and your suction cups too, and also the frame of your windshield. And hold the back side of your windshield and press the suction cup on and clamp it down. And you'll be able to see where it's got suction. That one's not coming off. Get some tape ready and clean the top of your windshield frame too, because you're gonna wanna tape it once the new windshield is in there, and it takes about 6 hours to cure. Our urethane is hot, and I'm gonna let him do it because he has way more practice and can give you guys better pointers than me.
So I'm just putting this in a caulking gun, and then we're gonna use a screwdriver to pierce the seal in the end. We want about a 3/8 bead because our old urethane was about a 1/2 inch thick wide and a 1/4 inch thick, and I think 3/8 is going to get us about that. Just take the end of it, never cut towards your body. I just cut an angled piece that looks about right. And then I'm going to start in the middle, and you can see we didn't completely clean the old urethane off here, and you don't want to touch that because it's all clean right now, and you don't want to put grease on it and get so stuff won't stick to it. But we're just going to follow that line and put a nice bead about 3/8 of an inch. Just kind of steady speed, and if you want to go fatter, you slow down or squeeze harder. If you want to go thinner, speed up or squeeze softer.
And try not to accidentally bump your tip against anything else because it is really hard to get off.
And if you don't think you have enough, put a little more, because you can always add more now. But once you stick the windshield up there, you can't add any more. Once you stick the windshield to this, you'll never get it out. Just make sure you don't have, a little bit of unevenness is okay, but try not to have any gaps, because if you have a gap, that's a leak. It's completely out. We use the entire tube exactly. I'm just going to check it over before we stick the windshield up there, make sure everything looks good. You're going to reach around that antenna. Okay, set the bottom.
In the channel, down below.
On my way. Pick it up. Okay, and now you want to press it back until it's flush again. Your foot needs to go up just a little bit. It's sliding down. Can you see it sliding down?
That tape is gonna hold it up.
Yeah, doesn't matter much. Oh, I bet you're everything on the window. That's okay. It'll clean off with the razor blade once it's dry. You don't want the edge to be touching the metal anywhere because it's going to flex some, and if it's touching the metal, it's going to pop the windshield right away. Just making sure that it's pressed down enough to get all the urethane kind of spread out. You don't want to press too hard because you'll break the glass.
Windshield installed. I hope that this video gave you the knowledge you need to determine if putting in your own windshield is something you want to take on. If you want to see what mods I do to this Jeep, make sure you hit subscribe. See you soon.